Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you guys as well.
It's early.
Yep. If it's early where you are, it's a good day for a wake and bake. Oh,
Mm.
yes. Hello.
Good morning. Hmm?
Man. All right.
Maybe we should have named the podcast Wake and Bake
No.
because we just keep doing this in the morning.
And we could have. I mean, we got unlimited number of podcasts we can open. I did pitch that idea of
I need to get a new cart.
the 97 podcast,
I heard.
and there's a few interest, a little bit interest in that. So
Is there?
might try that out. I definitely want a co-host for it. But I mean, all it would really entail is us researching a couple events from that specific week of 1997. So, yep.
This shit hits hard. I shouldn't have reheated.
Jeez. How much juice I got?
Off to a great start this morning.
Yeah. So, you said you had a bunch of stuff to talk about today?
I did not say I had a bunch of stuff.
I said that.
Yeah, you said you had
things.
a handful of stuff.
Yeah, I got a few things. Do you have anything at all? Might as well
No.
knock yours out.
The only thing I could think to talk about was honestly the Avatar premiere.
That
Was
cool.
it.
Avatar, the live action came out, and Shane Gillis hosted SNL. It was awesome.
Avatar already has a significantly better Rotten Tomatoes score than M. Night Shyamalan's movie.
Oh, I mean, it better.
Yeah.
It's a significantly better show.
Yeah, they kind of... The way that I saw the article written was very much like at M. Night Shyamalan saying, hey, the live action just proved that you took the shit way out.
Yeah.
But I still have only seen episode 1.
Yeah, I saw episode 2. It was also good.
I was telling Anne that like the best way that I have to try and go into this show is as if I don't know anything, which is very hard for me because
it is definitely the best way to go into it.
Yeah, you I bet have a way better time watching it than I do because I'm trying to figure out in what animated episode are we in?
Yeah.
Where are we in this timeline? Because I have every word memorized. So.
Yep. Well, we're gonna watch episode 3 tonight.
I gotta watch episode 2 still, but man,
yeah, you got nothing but time.
I know. I'm excited.
The whole day.
Yeah. I could watch the entire series today if I wanted to.
True. Yeah, I mean, I could too. We could both just sit here separate and just grind it away.
That honestly sounds so fun.
Let's do it.
Fuck yeah.
We got that little TV. I definitely, when we do our desk, I want to mount a TV
up there, so that way we can have...
We can watch it together.
I think it kind of just sucks because this window is so off center.
Yeah, well, it's off center of the room, but it's matching the other window.
Yeah.
Too bad, but can't do anything about it.
Little things in our house that
we'll be moving our when we do the addition. We'll move our office.
We still got to get a plan for that addition.
Yeah, we have rough ideas, but we need to sketch it out. Anyway, enough talking about the addition. We talk about in like every fucking episode.
And yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So, Avatar, Shane Gillis hosted SNL. He was the funniest host to ever do it. Barring Norm, of course. I think Norm is the best comic to ever exist. Cool.
Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, my favorite. He did sound. He's got a similar style, so it wasn't that far off. Milo, don't trip over the cord, buddy. And I know you will. There you go. Go under the desk. Good boy.
I need to get him a bed, but there's an outlet down here, so I can't.
Yeah. But I think the audience wasn't the right audience. Shane killed in my head, but the audience made it feel like he wasn't killing. Man, I was dying. I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, it was a really funny
yeah. He's got
bit.
a great monologue. Yeah. I started watching. I didn't finish the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I got about halfway through it, a little more than halfway. I got
Yeah.
past the musical part, 21 Savage. I kept falling asleep during 21 Savage performing. Just don't care. It ain't for me.
You were falling asleep through pretty much the whole thing, though. So
yeah, I was trying to sleep through commercials. I like the bet skit. That was really funny. Or you can bet on your friend's downfall.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like, you don't have a problem. Your friend has a problem. That killed me. I love gambling jokes.
I have like a hair or a fur stuck on an eyelash, and it's driving me nuts.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
That happens a lot. Yeah. So, good episode.
Yeah.
From what I saw so far, there was a couple of rough bits in there. A couple ones that didn't quite hit me, but
I think I've just watched
opening
that.
One was kind of whack.
I think Shane trying to do his like most iconic
It was
bit
fucking hilarious.
almost didn't work,
Danny.
just because it's so overdone now.
I don't think so.
I oversee it.
You might oversee it, but I haven't seen it enough. I can watch it every time. I still laugh. Milo, don't. It's playing with
I know.
fire.
I feel that way with a lot of comedians, though. Like pretty much any of them.
I mean, that's what you're gonna get with TikTok.
When I see someone
again.
try and replicate a bit that they've already done somewhere else, it doesn't land as hard for me as just rewatching the original.
I guess
because like John Mulaney's horse in a hospital bit was he first said that on some talk show, or he tested it out on a talk show, and then he put it into his set. And so when I heard it in his set, I was like, oh, this is just your story from this other thing. And I was like, it's not as funny to me because it's now a retelling.
Right. That's fair.
It's not to say that it's not funny. It's still a funny joke.
Oh, yeah. I love the...
but I like the originals with that kind of stuff more.
I love the...
Or just where I saw it first.
It nicked me.
I know, it's still
kills
funny.
Me every fucking time I hear it.
I know.
It just kills me. His facial expressions fucking sell that show.
And I think by that point in his monologue too, I could kind of tell that he kind of knew that it wasn't gonna land, but he was gonna try it anyway. And I was so scared for him. As soon as I realized what path he was taking, I was like, oh, this audience does not seem to be receptive of this. I'm so nervous to see how this lands.
Yeah, land pretty good.
Yeah, not terrible.
But
yeah,
not like a
anywhere
good
near
Austin crowd would appreciate it.
I mean, but he's also on live television, and he's saying a lot of things he probably shouldn't be getting.
In front of a New York yuppie audience. Anyway, we won't shit on that too much.
Yeah. He is really funny. I do really wish we could go see his show. I even texted my dad. I was like, do you think we'd be able to make it? And he's like, we're not doing it, but we're old, so.
Well, it's the night that we would be staying at a hotel.
Yeah, it's the night that we have to be in Detroit.
If we just canceled the hotel,
well, my dad
could do it.
Do you know what time we have to be at the airport in the morning?
2 a.m.
Yeah, we have to be there by 2 a.m.
I'm sure. I bet
that's why my dad specifically got the hotel where he did, because it's across the street.
Yeah. Oh, so we could get a ride to the hotel and walk to the airport, is what you're saying. Nothing's more fun than walking downtown Detroit at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I'll look at the place, because I do not want to park our car, any car, in the airport parking lot.
Oh, it wouldn't be airport. My dad's given me a whole bunch of details that we can go over.
I don't want to pay for parking for a week.
It's only $13 a day.
Yeah, but that adds up.
I'm aware. I'm the one that would be paying it.
I know.
So I don't know why you're concerned.
I don't want us to be paying it at all. That's $13 a day we could spend on...
But how else are we getting there?
Non-alcoholic beverages? I don't know.
We have to get to Detroit somehow.
The love of strangers. I'm sure my mom would take us down to the hotel. We would just be from hotel to airport.
Which I think there is a shuttle service.
There probably is a shuttle service.
I'll
And
have to
there's
ask my
also
dad.
definitely Ubers that will definitely be cheaper.
I'm scared to call an Uber in Detroit at 2 a.m.
I'm not. Give a shit. You see me?
You can't carry.
Like a swing. Then with Smith and Wesson, fuck them up.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I could fuck up an Uber driver in Detroit. I like seeing a motherfucker try. You know who Uber drives? Old people. I can't beat the shit out of an old person. I clobber that hoe. I mean, what were our 2 Uber drivers in Florida like? The one dude that only spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
I loved him. He was my favorite. There's nothing I hate more than someone who wants to talk to me.
I know.
Especially on long drives. Like, can you shut the fuck up? I do not want to. Just,
shut up.
let's be quiet here. And he.
I will
silent.
say.
He didn't talk to us the whole ride. And at the very end, I said, gracias, señor. And he said, he spoke Spanish back. But, he said, you're welcome. De nada.
Yeah.
De nada. And so that felt cool. That was nice. Got to use a little bit of Spanish I know.
I love the TikTok videos. I don't know if multiple people do it, but I've only ever seen like one person where they will get in the back of a taxi or an Uber and have super hot gossip conversation on the phone with their friend just to give the Uber driver a wild story to talk about for the day.
That's funny.
Of just like, I had this passenger
That's really funny.
who took a phone call and their best friend slept with her friend's dad or something like that, or her boyfriend's dad.
I should start doing that. I'll take my truck to auto shops and be like, I don't know, the engine's like, and then I take that, you see, customer states, engine making a noise. What a dumbass. I was be the guy giving the mechanics
content
something to do. That's not making fun of someone actually. They still think they are, but they're not.
Yeah.
I'm making fun of them. Dumbass, you thought I believed that? Fucking idiot. Fucking stupid bitch. Well, we're only at 12 minutes. But we only touched on one thing, really. Talked about, I guess, 2, Avatar and Shane.
Gillis.
And then we
our Punta
just
Cana
brought up Punta Cana, but that wasn't on my docket at all.
Not mine either. I don't remember how it came up.
I don't know. Something about driving. But I don't remember.
The Shane Gillis show.
Oh yeah, we wanted to see him. I mean, could we actually? Yes. Would it be fun to be stressing like that? No. If I was like,
if it was a day earlier, if it was the day before his actual show, I would say 1000% yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, it's the day before our flight.
Yeah,
like,
our 5:30 in the morning flight.
It would be, we have to go to the show. It would be a late show, and then we'd come home, then we'd take a nap, take an edible, a nap, and then have someone pick us up from our house and drive us to Detroit. And that would probably be at like fucking 11 p.m. We'd be riding down. We'd get there about 1 a.m.
God.
I do love airports first thing in the morning.
I'm
calm,
so glad you do, because
so
you're going to be
peaceful.
leading the way.
There ain't nobody there. It's just
airports
serene.
Stress me out. I don't know
you
what
won't be
it
stressed
is.
out in the Detroit Metropolitan Airport at 2 a.m. I can promise you that. Super chill. Not a lot of people out there.
Time stresses me out.
Yeah.
We have a lot to get through.
Yeah, but all we have to do is be early. And that's why I'm always super early to the airport. I'd much rather sit around the airport for 3 hours than me fucking running as fast as I can through TSA.
I'm stressed getting into the Punta Cana airport.
Yeah.
Oh, also, we are not meeting my parents at the airport. We are meeting in the lobby of the hotel.
The resort? Or
Yeah.
our hotel?
The
in
resort.
Detroit?
So, because the way the Punta Cana airport is, apparently, is there's 2 wings, and they you cannot get to either side. Like, you can't get from one to the other, like, at all.
Oh,
without it being a massive pain in the ass, to the point where, like, the shuttle service that takes you from the airport to the resort will not take you from one side
really
of
shuttle.
the hotel.
It's really just a guy in an SUV picking up just one group at a time. I thought.
Yeah, it's just
I hope so. It'd be cool
that's
for
exactly
it
what
to
a
just
shuttle
be
service
just
is.
you and me chilling. Well, most shuttle services are a big white Sprinter van full of seats, taking as many people as they can.
Yeah.
Not a big black SUV.
I guess.
This feels like we're getting picked up by the fucking feds.
I know. But
That's gonna be who's waiting for us.
So the shuttle services don't even go from one wing of the airport to the other. You can't get a shuttle to one side of the airport, but you can get it from the airport to the resort. Just because it's that much of not worth it.
Wow.
So there's gonna be like a specific bar we can go to. Like, it'll be so easy to hang out in the lobby of this resort for half an hour, because that's all it would take. There's 9 million things. We could fill a day's worth of stuff just to do in the lobby. So that's where we will meet my parents, and then
we're not gonna meet them in the pool.
Well, also, they don't want us checking in without them, because we technically have a better room than they do. So
Are we gonna swap rooms?
they're gonna see if they can get an upgrade. If they can't, yes, we're switching rooms.
Damn.
But there is no such thing as a bad room in this resort.
I want to see the room that's so much better.
Yeah, we will, obviously, because it'd be my parents' room at that point. But I had to laugh because my dad mentioned that. I'm like, you could have just, we've already agreed that I'm not gonna check in before you get there. We've made this agreement 3 times. I didn't need that information, but now I want the information.
Speaking of check-ins, remember when we saw John Mulaney in Detroit and we checked into the hotel like fucking 2 hours before we could check in? So we were just sitting in the lobby.
Oh, yeah.
I was just sitting on a case of beer because they had to valet our car.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than being 20 years old in fucking Detroit lobby, sitting on a case of beer that you're not supposed to have, with a 5th of Jack, a handle of Tito's. We drank a lot that night. I drank a lot that night.
Yeah, you do.
And then we walked to dinner, then to the show. See, we walk in Detroit. We walk downtown. Nice good as shit.
I was.
Yeah, I wasn't that worried.
I don't know. I'm really anxious, though. So it doesn't take much to stress me out. I get stressed out in my morning drive to work. So
I mean, I get anxious, but that's why I'm big. So I don't have to worry about that much.
Yeah, unfortunately. Not much I can do.
No. Get a gun. That's all that. Anyway. So So last night I was playing COD, like I do. I got combat again.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
But the guy
I'm surprised you're not perma-combat.
It will one day. But the guy that reported me, I reported him for reporting me, and he got combat too. Fuck with me now, bitch. See what's up. What you do? Little bitch. Are you gonna report my podcast? Fuck you, bitch. Jeremy, don't kill yourself. Don't do it. Can we get a hashtag don't do it, Jay? Can you say that real quick? Hashtag don't do it, Jay. Can you say that real quick?
Hashtag don't do it, Jay.
Don't do it, Jay. I'm going to clip that specifically. About 19 minutes in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to clip that so Jeremy will watch it. He doesn't watch the podcast.
Oh, my God.
He's a piece of shit. 19.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that wasn't what I was going to talk about. There
Okay.
were 2 guys in a lobby before the ban, before the nastiest thing in the world happened to me, that were from Michigan, from like Sterling Heights area.
Oh,
This
okay.
guy accidentally gave me his entire fucking name. He dropped his Snapchat, but we're friends now, so it's cool. We were butting heads in the beginning, but we're cool. But he works at a grow place, and they grow weed, and they have that at Puff. So we gotta go get some. It's called Local Grove. It's a brand.
Okay.
He recommended Brain Stew. It's named after the song by Green Day called Brain Stew.
Not familiar.
You are? You just don't realize that's the name of the song.
Okay.
If you heard it, you'd be like, oh, yeah. Oh, I think you would.
I don't know.
Well, you try. I don't know if you had anything else. I don't know what kind of weed that is. Also, I don't know if it's sativa.
Okay.
But when I asked for a recommendation on what one of theirs, the one guy's like, what kind of terps do you like? I was like, whoa.
I know. I keep saying that
Just
I need to
I
do
said
the
I have a
research, but I do
podcast.
not have the time.
Just because I have a podcast doesn't mean I know this shit, dude. Calm down.
We should.
Yeah, maybe next week it'll be better. What was I looking up? Damn. Oh, the song. Wow.
Are you even that high yet?
No, I started talking. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard the name of that song.
Yeah, right? But you definitely know the song.
Yeah.
You could not have come up through the 2000s without hearing Brain Stew 7,000 times on the radio.
Yeah, that's honest.
Oh, yes. We should look it up. I want to get Tom on the podcast. I think I asked him to come for this next episode. So I want to get him on, and we'll ask him some questions about it.
Tom.
My buddy Tom.
Oh, you're Tom. Yeah. Okay.
Tom Segura. So he'll come explain terpenes to us. No, it'll be nice to have him over because I want to have him check out our kind of grow area. Or our tents, I guess. Our tents and our light.
I didn't even remember we had those.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about it.
I thought you got rid of them.
Nope. I'm gonna probably sell one tent, but I'm gonna see what Tom says first. I want to, and then have Tom walk through and see where he thinks we could put a tent without being crazy. I think the animal room's the only logical place to put a tent, but it's gonna be a pain in the ass. So
yeah, we have to get through our spring cleaning before we do anything else to this house.
Yep.
Because
and I mean,
through that we're gonna get
soon. We can put it outside.
Furniture stuff we need.
We can grow outside.
Yeah.
So we put the tent in the garage. But
that's the only thing that kind of scares me about this Punta Cana trip and Sky coming, which also Sky is going to be in town.
When?
End of April, only for a weekend.
Oh, no way. I'm in a film at the end of April.
What?
Yeah, I'm doing a movie.
What?
Yeah, literally 29th to the 31st.
Oh, and she's
that's not it. I'm looking at March.
Oh, yeah, April.
It's 19th through the 21st.
Oh, see, she'll be here the next weekend. Week?
Awesome. I think that was Private Skiles. Lieutenant Skiles.
Yeah, so one of the days for sure, her and I are at least just going over to my parents' house and either going out and having a little girls' day or hanging out at my parents' house and letting Beth and my dad babysit.
Did you set me?
No.
Oh, babysit you guys.
No, babysit Emerson.
I didn't realize she was bringing Emmy. I can babysit Emerson, but I'm kidding. I won't do it. I'm not changing it.
I was nervous to babysit Emerson, but that's just because
once you don't have to change the diaper, I'm the guy. As soon as
that was honestly one of my biggest
bathroom, I'm on it.
That was honestly one of the biggest things I was nervous about.
Yeah. I'm not looking
because I was like, shit, I think they're going and getting diapers because I think they're out of his baby bag.
We should have diapers here when they get here.
Yeah.
Then they could fly with less.
Yeah. Well, nice. I think she's driving because she's going up to PA.
She can drive with less.
She's going to PA the week before.
Oh, where in PA? We have a resort near Hershey.
Oh.
or in Hershey.
Something like that.
Well, I mean, we're gonna go to all of them little hoes.
She'd be visiting family, so
I don't know where the family is.
yeah.
So that was one of the other things I want to talk about. Oh, my dream.
Oh, yeah, your dream last night.
Very strangely vivid dream where I met someone. They're like, hey, literally did that. Like we were like past each other. I went, hey. It was a woman too, really tall woman. She went, hey.
Oh my
god. Send me your email address for your podcast. We'd like to sponsor you guys. I'm like, this is awesome.
What the hell?
And then I woke up, and I still thought it was real. I'm like, man, I gotta check my email, get the sponsorship lined up. Like, it's not fucking happening.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't
All of our
that shit wasn't real.
Your Discord friends.
Yeah, that's just not real. We could apply for some sponsorships, but I'd rather not. I mean, we can say we're sponsored by One Love Smoothie. So,
yeah.
hey, if you're in Midland, they're opening soon. They're the Midland Mall. One Love Smoothies.
Oh, you know what I just realized? That would actually be kind of like a cute little tradition. You know how you and I wanted to start doing our Sunday dates again?
Oh, go there.
Go to Midland, grab a smoothie from Ryan, different flavor or whatever. Come back,
for me.
Smoke and drink our smoothie and review both on the pod.
Yeah, I can't do different smoothies though, so that's not gonna happen.
I can.
Oh. If you want to have a smoothie segment, I have to have the same smoothie.
That's okay.
I can't.
Just shout out the One Love.
I always will. Yeah, so we can
especially because I think the vibe kind of goes
very similar. Yeah, we
together.
got to have Ryan on.
Yeah, he's
busy.
Yeah, he's crazy. I can't keep up with him. I think that's why I can handle like 5 minutes of Ryan, and then I'm just like, okay, I need a nap.
That'll probably be a Ryan and I video.
Yeah. I feel like I'd have to do a line of coke to be on the same height as Ryan.
Yeah, I feel like we could do like Tom and Christina would do half the episode where it was just them, and then the other half was with a guest. So they get, I think, but they were doing like 2-hour episodes.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So really they would do 2 episodes in a day.
2-hour episodes. And one had a guest.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. What are these?
I don't know what you have going on up there.
Me neither. Oh, yeah, anyway. I think that was all I really had. Oh, I went to the barber shop, got my beard fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan was back.
I like this length on you. Looks good.
I like it. I like it a little shorter. I'd like a little pointy, or like a little long, you know, because it stretches out my head. It makes me look a little thinner. But I don't really give a shit. When I was wearing
a pretty long face, though.
Yeah, when I was wearing my tan hat, my head looked like a sphere. Like that just rounded out my head. It was like this hat kind of stretches as it goes.
Yeah.
But that's like a perfect half of a circle.
Yeah.
It looked weird as hell.
I know. That's why I never liked those hats. I was so kind of upset that you couldn't just wear a black Neff beanie to PT.
That'd be insane. I couldn't imagine that. Yeah, but Ryan was there. Ryan was in a pretty bad motorcycle accident. I went in the day of it, and Dylan was there. Had Dylan cut my hair, and then I came in like another couple weeks later. Ryan still wasn't there. He'd been coming in cutting hair.
Yeah,
his back brace.
Wild.
But he wasn't there when I was there, so Dylan cut my hair again. Dylan's really good at it. Only 2 people I trust.
Oh.
Yeah, like with my beard and whatnot, like doing the whole head. They're the 2 best. Then I went in this last time. Ryan was back. I had Ryan cut my hair. But Ryan, in his back brace, rode his bike in. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
He bought a new bike and took that.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. They're awesome guys.
That's wild. I was like, either you are severely dedicated or so stupid.
Dedicated. Definitely dedicated.
To both riding the bike and going
and it
to
started
work.
snowing in the middle of my haircut. But it stopped snowing. It stopped snowing. And it really wasn't snowing hard.
God. Why is
That
it
was
that
fun.
you and the people you know stress me out so much?
Because we're all interesting people.
I'm just like, God damn.
Like, you just have
I don't want to think about
friends
the
that do kind of
potential.
normal stuff. Your friends aren't going off the rails doing crazy stuff.
No, the
I mean,
craziest
Amber's
thing
in
that
Hawaii right now.
I know the craziest thing that like any of my friends are doing is raising a baby and
the one that
making a
stole
garden.
$1,000 from a client.
Shut up.
Ex-friend.
Yeah, I was gonna say shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, she's definitely ain't watching this. How would she have time? She has a bunch of furniture to buy off Facebook Marketplace, tattoos again, instead of paying rent and working.
Oh my god, shut up.
Okay. I had to.
I know.
We need things to talk about.
I don't want to talk about that nightmare.
Yeah.
Hi, Molly.
Hi, Mal.
Hi, ma'am.
What? Molly, watch out. Watch the cord, baby.
Stop
Molly's
pushing.
the one I don't trust. Milo's pretty good. Molly does not care.
I gotta get them groomed.
Yeah, fucking the bitch. Step right on it. Molly. Easy.
She's half blind, okay?
Easy kid. She landed on. She went. Like, hi, Molly. What, kid? What?
This is just how all of our animals are. All of
as soon
the
as the
time.
camera turned on, they all had to be in here.
I know.
Milo's not in here. Just a good boy. You lay down, kid.
If our camera, okay.
Oh,
yep.
there he goes. Thanks,
I
cat.
was gonna say if our camera moves, it's our cat.
All right, let me take performance mode. Do you want to just kick it back my way a bit? The front foot. Watch out, Molly.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think.
Oh, it's a little off. Let me.
I think that's good enough. There we go. Perfect. Okay.
All right, problem solved.
I don't know that I'm kind of surprised that 10 milligrams in the one hit I took hit pretty hard.
Oh yeah,
I took 1 milligram, 10 milligram edible, and then took my one hit, and
I took however many hits I took up until this point.
I don't.
That's all I've had today.
Yeah.
It's quite a few, I think.
I don't know. I wasn't keeping track.
Me neither. But I never do when I'm vaping. I just start hitting that little bish.
I probably should keep track.
Count,
I
yeah.
count.
Well,
I don't know. Is this weird? I count.
I just kind of go until I start feeling it. Because once I feel it, I just stop. Can't do it with eating gummies. Because if you take 5 of them, they'll all hit at the same time and not like as you took them. Whereas this feels like it.
But that's
this
where
window
like,
where I'm still sober, and then it sneaks in. I go.
You're crazy because you continue to eat edibles.
I haven't.
I know how many milligrams I want. I know.
Yeah.
I'm very particular when I offer you.
It's scientific.
Because you don't count. I count. So like that's why I'm surprised that 1 10 milligram did anything, because I take 1 10, like I'll take a 10 milligram after work, and I don't. Well, I guess, and I don't feel anything.
That's like
or hardly anything.
Edibles is very different compared to like drinking. Like I can go have 7, 8 beers right now and be just a little toasty, because it'll just kind of wash over the time it takes to drink them. But the gummies, it's like, you're fine. And then it's like, wake up, sunshine. It's time to fuck around.
Yeah, and so,
Cat, what the hell? What's gotten into you? Yeah, you better leave.
She keeps clawing at me.
Yeah, what little bitch.
But yeah, so like, I know how many milligrams it takes for me to feel a certain way.
All right, and you should probably count at home. Don't do what I do. Do it responsibly.
So, like, I know how 20 milligrams feels for me.
Right.
And so I'll just kind of gauge, okay, how high do I want to feel? That is this number.
Yeah.
I use girl math to figure that out.
I mean, that's kind of math. Not really girl math.
Oh my God.
You're like, this many milligrams makes me feel like this. So I want to feel like that. I got to take this many. It's not
But
really
it's
girl
also
math,
kind of girl math when it's...
X equals 20. 20 equals X.
But it feels kind of girl math in my head just because I'm like, okay, so 20 makes me feel like stuck in the couch high. But I don't want to be quite that high, but I want to be a little bit more than a 10 milligram where I'm still able to do chores.
All you gotta do is power through that sleepiness.
I'm like,
you power through that, I'm going. That's what I really like about sativas. I could power through it way easier.
I know, that's why I
Especially
specifically
this
took
one.
sativa.
This is such a good one.
Oh yeah, your rainbow dash.
Yeah.
The rainbow dash vape.
Yeah, Rainbow Z.
I just call it the rainbow dash vape.
Yeah.
Because they chose the exact same shade of blue for the background. That's like the only reason.
It's a good vape. Strong.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's potent.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I was smoking it earlier.
Yeah, I'm starting to get the numbness in my cheekbones. That's one of my favorite feelings, when like just you can't feel like stuff touching, you know? I guess it's not numbness, it's more awareness.
Maybe.
Like I can feel my cheekbones touching the inside of my skin. It's not weird. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Stop.
Do you hear this shit?
Stop. Don't make me weird. That's normal. That's what normal people do.
Is this normal?
Oh my God, this bitch. Yeah. Oh, I want to tell Jeremy not to do it.
Hey, Ross, is that normal?
You think Ross listens anymore? He heard best friend. He's out. I think Gabe still listens. Gabe's a real one.
Hey, Gabe, is that real?
Oh my God. Don't ask Gabe. He's had a heart attack.
What?
Yeah. We have to have him on to tell a story, but he felt like he was having a heart attack. I know exactly what he means. I felt like that when we were up tubing.
Oh my God.
I was sitting in the front seat, just, Dad, I think I'm dying. He was like, "No, you're fine." I was like, okay. All right, I was just fine. I wasn't. I felt awful.
I so should have came with you guys.
It would have been fun for you. No, you've been worried.
Yeah. I would have been like, okay, we're going home.
I was worried for myself.
I'm almost glad that I didn't go with you then.
It was fun, though.
I'm glad I didn't have to go through that.
It gave me some good stories.
I'm surprised you really remember anything.
Well, that's the beauty of it. What I do remember is just funny. Like, I remember how I was acting at the sporting goods store, just based off what I do remember. Molly, stop, leave her. Good girl. Like trying to act normal by counting down in my head normal amount of time to look at things. Like I'd look at like a mount on the wall, 1, 2, 3, and I'd look at a different thing. So I was just kind of jumping around, and in my vision, everyone was like looking at me, and I was hella paranoid. I'm like, "What's someone looking at me for?" Oh, you piece of shit. I felt, dude, it was so bad.
That's how I felt in the Nashville Mall that one time. I got hella stoned.
Yeah, Ember and just today or yesterday made a post on her Snapchat. Highly recommend taking edibles at the mall. You fucking psycho. No.
But only at a mall where recreational weed is legal.
Oh,
like this mall here in Michigan, I could totally go to a mall stoned and not feel any particular way. Nashville, it's not exactly the most legal thing. And so we were walking around Nashville. I accidentally got too stoned. Because I was trying to only take enough to like calm my anxiety but not get high. Which is also another girl math measurement I have to do in my head. And I
Gotta figure
accidentally
out
got
those
too
terpenes.
stoned. We're walking around and I see drug dogs walking towards me and I panic and I just grab Joe by the shirt and I'm just like, we're going into this Nashville souvenir shop and just staring at a wall for a minute because no thanks. I don't want to be here right now.
Yeah, but you've been fine.
Yeah.
Because they had weed, but there's not strong, sticky icky.
Yeah.
Not the good shit.
No, it
That
was
fake update
crap.
bullshit.
But
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
yeah,
We're doing better than we did last week.
last week,
It was awful.
yeah,
But we also didn't smoke a sleepy time weed before this episode.
yeah, I'm very specifically not smoking that until the sun goes down. I might actually like go out and finish that joint tonight
Okay.
because we've stayed up
bowl,
so late the past couple of nights. And
Get a
I
good
need
night's
to
rest tonight.
I need to go to bed early, and I know I need I need to be able to be tired by that point.
Yeah.
And woke up too late this morning to feel that way.
Yeah, I feel that.
Just to reset my work schedule,
So,
sleep schedule.
You haven't been doing it long, smoking. Do you have any good, like, high stories? Any funny moments? I wish I could record all the funny moments I had when I was high so I could just play them all the time.
I mean, our Halloween party was honestly just some of the most fun that I've really ever had. Just because I love watching you and your friends just hang out in the first place. And then I was just so blissfully high just watching you hang out with your friends. I was just so happy in that moment.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, I looked like a fucking idiot. I knew it the whole time too, and I didn't care. I was just like sitting there watching you be happy and have fun, just smiling.
I was very happy and having a lot of fun.
I know.
It was a blast.
And it was a blast for me getting to watch you.
That's cool. Oh,
that's why I almost didn't mind not having any of my friends there.
Yeah.
Just because then I didn't have to entertain.
Right.
I got to just sit there.
Yeah, that is nice. Yeah, so
But I mostly just get high home alone.
I don't like doing it home alone when I get paranoid.
Yeah.
Man.
No one likes getting paranoid.
And for whatever reason, every single car that drives down our road sounds like they're pulling into our driveway. It's the freakiest thing. Like, my dad mentioned it when we were watching the Super Bowl. And I was like, what? I was like, I'm glad it's not just me.
I did discover it's because of the stop sign. Because you're hearing the stop and the rev up. Because growing up, my house was in the middle of the road. So there was no, like, there was a stop sign nearby, but not this close. And you were on the highway.
Middle of the fucking road.
Yeah, you lived literally on the highway.
Yeah.
So neither one of us really got used to hearing that. And even in Tennessee, when we lived there,
we were away from a stop sign.
Yeah, we were a quarter mile away from a stop sign. So
yeah, my DoorDash driver got pulled over just down the road from our house.
Oh my god, yeah, I forgot about that. That was so funny.
Wendy showed up cold as fuck. Bummer. I couldn't report him. I wanted to, but it's not his fault. I was so bummed. I wanted Wendy's to send me more.
Marco reported an undercover cop to the police because of suspicious driving around his house. An unmarked undercover police officer doing traffic on our road, because that's how we lived in a really shitty area. And so everyone drove like idiots. You know, it's a neighborhood full of toddlers, 20 miles an hour, and often you would hear people screeching to a halt.
Yeah, flying like 80 miles an hour.
Burning their tires off a stop sign. Like,
it's crazy.
Just absolute reckless behavior. Yeah. Coming around a 90-degree bend at 30 miles an hour or faster.
It feels like we live in a gated community now.
I know.
I feel safe.
I know.
We got
We're the
Kathy keeping
we're
us
the
safe.
youngest couple for miles.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, it is weird. We're almost always the youngest couple.
I know. Well,
miles.
not in Tennessee
We're
because,
still younger than the.
but not by as much.
But they weren't really a couple anymore.
Yeah, our next door neighbor's house drama was
They
wild.
were, and then they weren't.
I still
was
can't
bad.
believe
Poor
that
guy. Poor guy.
I can't believe that the last like month I was there was when I finally got to talking to them. And it was only because you weren't there and he felt bad and he mowed our lawn for us. That was
nice
so
of him.
sweet. Sweetest neighbors I think I could ever imagine
Don't
having.
know his name.
I don't remember it.
Don't know his last name, his first name. I even forgot Social Security number.
Oh my god.
Don't remember anymore.
I hardly remember anything at that point. I was in fight or flight at that point though, so
true.
then
Yeah.
I was living every day not knowing what the end of the day was gonna bring. So
terrifying. Meanwhile, I was up
I
here.
don't know. Every day I was like, am I gonna
job
be
and buy a
moving
house.
halfway across the country tomorrow? I don't know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm trying to buy a house and get a job. That's tough. It really sucks. You have to have proof of job and to buy a house. It has to be a job where you're buying the house. But to buy a house, or to get a job, you need proof of residency in that area where you want to get a job. It's like, how the fuck are you supposed to do this? Do I gotta just have?
Yeah, you just have to like
$200,000 in cash all the time to buy a house?
Yeah.
I would love. That's why I never understood when celebrities made it big. They would buy their home through like a bank loan. It was like a lot of them will get their homes foreclosed on, get their cars repoed. How are you getting your fucking car repoed? You have more than that money. Just buy the car. It doesn't make any sense. Like, fuck your credit.
So
what are you worried about?
If you really wanted to get into the niche specifics, there are a lot of reasons that people would do that. It's a way for their money to make money for them. There's a lot of logistics in it.
They're basically renting cars. They're leasing cars.
Yeah, but there are ways that you can get tax breaks and you can get a whole bunch of stuff with it.
But
when you are that rich, you are that rich for a reason, and there are practices you have in place. Not
always.
I mean,
mostly rappers seem to be the problem. These SoundCloud, Spotify rappers nowadays.
Yeah, well, they're not real rich.
No, one dude had I can't remember his name. He had a Rolls Royce. I think it was the baby. He had a Rolls Royce, one of the highest end luxury cars you can have.
Yeah.
And just recently, he was seen driving around a Honda Civic. How do you fall off that hard? Like, why do you not just still have a Rolls Royce? Because you didn't own the car. But if you could afford it, that's an investment. Especially that high-end luxury.
Yeah.
That's the
kind
of weird thing about cars is nice cars will depreciate and then they'll start to appreciate like 30, 40 years.
I actually watched like a whole video on Rolls Royce and it's interesting that they're ridiculous. They're ridiculously nice cars. But the way that this this like documentary 20-minute video or whatever it kind of made it sound like they don't really appreciate and value on their own sense. It's that they only appreciate in value depending on who the person who owned it was.
Yeah,
because they're 100% custom vehicles. There is why
they're so expensive.
There's no stock on anything on a Rolls Royce, which is so incredible. Expensive. So they don't appreciate in their own value.
Yeah,
they're like the only car that does that, which is so cool. If I ever had money, that's honestly like, That would be a goal. That would be like
I just can't.
a
I don't like cars
financial
enough, I guess.
dream to be able to confidently afford a Rolls Royce and to keep it.
Well, if
Be able to make that investment.
if I ever make
cool.
it big, I'll buy a Rolls Royce.
I want to just play around on their website, to be honest.
They give me a figure. So
I'll
start saving up for it.
I actually so love just like because I can't really do much at work.
Right.
That's one of my favorite things to do is just build cars on my work computer.
So goofy. Build cars.
I've been building my
Could you
Toyota.
build a car from stock you have?
Oh my god, no.
No, you have to order the frames and shit. You guys can't get frames.
No.
Oh,
We don't do any body. We don't do transmission, engine, or body.
Damn. Well, you don't
Just
do
mechanical.
the only important things.
Well, we do all the mechanical.
Yeah, but that shit
And
don't
your
matter.
brakes and your suspension.
That shit don't matter if you don't have an engine and transmission. What am I gonna have a little car, milk cart, derbies?
For our bigger customers, we do have a way of getting engines and transmissions,
Of course.
but we have to buy them, so then we have a markup on them.
Yeah.
So then we become the third party.
Well,
They could get them just
What we
straight from LKQ.
could
But
do is go to a scrapyard, find a car with a decent engine, decent transmission in it, and then
you don't want to do used on
refix
those
it.
things, but whatever.
who cares? It'd be a cheap little beater vehicle. I want one so bad. If I ever made it big, you'd definitely see me drive around a little Honda Civic. It's all dinged up because I just keep knocking into people's trash cans. Oh, gotta bring the trash cans in. Fucking knock them in. Ever since I was
I
in
think it
driver's
would be
training,
kind of fun to have like a little Honda Civic.
Oh, we both get little Honda
go-kart,
Civics,
basically.
and we just keep hitting each other. Or hitting each other. Just like, you fucking bitch. That would be fun. I always wanted that.
Ugh.
That sounds like a blast, honestly. We should do that. We should
my
try and
God.
find like $400, $500 Honda Civics or some shit.
They don't drive.
If we find a $500 car that drives, and we find two of them,
They
we're
don't.
playing bumper cars.
You're not gonna find a car for $500 that drives.
That drives well.
or
it
just
might
drives
drive.
in general.
I don't think right now, but remarkable crash. The used car market will come down. It has to.
Hopefully before September 2025.
Oh, yeah, true. That'd be really cool. Comes down that day.
Holy shit.
Wow. I wouldn't mind having a few months off of having a car payment.
Joe, I've needed a car
I know,
almost longer
I know.
than you've needed a car.
So you're going to start shopping in September?
I'm shopping now.
Oh, all right.
I've been shopping
Yeah,
for like
but
3 years.
They're not going to be available. You're just looking at the ones you want. Not
Yeah,
like exactly
and I'm looking
this specific car.
Oh.
Not like this VIN number is going to be my VIN number. That's what
Yeah.
I mean. You're shopping, but you're not.
Yeah, I'm going to
you're
start
gonna start
going to
going out.
dealerships in like
September.
August of 25.
August. Damn. Gonna have me a double payment at the end of my truck. Rude. Bit rude that, innit?
Well, I'm going to do like test drives
Oh.
on what's available at that point just to have confidence in what I'm choosing.
They're gonna get so pissed off when they see you like every day for August. So like, she comes in, you gonna fucking test drive another vehicle, not buy a goddamn thing.
No, I would just do like
I'll come and test drive one too.
I would do like
one.
one day at different dealerships. I would go to one dealership, just looking. You know, I'm just trying to find which one I actually want. Because I'm looking to buy in the future, but I have to wait until the future.
Right. Yeah.
And thankfully, a lot of the dealerships in this area understand that you don't really push at that point. Because then if you don't push then when they say that they're going to come back, then they are more likely to be the one to be visited again.
Right.
Yeah,
so we're gonna get you a Rolls Royce
in 2052
when we retire and our pensions make us millionaires.
2075
we'll buy
That's
Rolls
normal.
Royces and shit. I mean, there's no better way to go out in life if we have a couple million to bank and I only see 15 more years left,
I mean,
we're gonna have a little shopping spree when we retire.
Or end up like
we're gonna retire like 100,
Aunt Joyce's
honestly.
parents that didn't expect to live past 85 and now they're nearly 95.
Yeah, that could happen. But
that's what's wild.
But we'd be homeless in a Rolls Royce. So are we really homeless? We're homeful.
At that point, I'd almost want to invest in
everything will be paid off though. All we'll have is just taxes.
I guess.
Like,
which is wild that you still get taxed when you have nothing else.
No income.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I got a lot of vote for me for Congress, and I'll start putting in that bill. I want to make it so if you can't vote, don't pay taxes. When you retire,
without representation is.
When you retire, no more taxes.
Well, you're still represented because you are able to vote.
Yeah, but I don't think when you retire you should pay taxes. You don't have an income.
But you're able to vote.
Yeah,
you're
I don't
represented.
Give a shit. I don't give a fuck.
You're representing.
I don't care. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about my policy. When you retire, no more taxes. No income, no taxes. Why are we taxing?
Then no income tax. There's many other
I
taxes.
want no income tax, but there no taxes at all. You're not making any money.
Sales tax.
Besides buying shit, I mean taxes on your property taxes. No more property taxes. No more income tax. No tax on your retirement benefits. What kind of bullshit? Don't do it, Kat. Don't fuck it up.
No, she's just messing stuff up.
Mm-hmm. A little terrorist.
Oh, well.
Yeah, so vote for me for Congress and whatever you're. Kat, what are you doing?
What's wrong with
you? She looks mad. Kat, come here. Come here, Kat.
She is not my cat.
Winnie. Fucking bitch.
Okay.
All right. Well, she's not coming.
No, thank God.
Yeah. Well, there's been a much longer podcast than last week.
Yeah.
What do you think
all
we're
last
at?
week, all I was saying at work was Granddaddy Perp is not a good podcast weed.
Facts.
Was not.
What do you think we're at?
42 minutes.
57.
Wow.
Look at us. A lot longer.
Damn.
Almost double.
Yeah.
I think we go an hour and 10 today to double it.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Molly. Top. Back up. Back.
I'm so excited for the second episode of Avatar.
Yeah. I'm excited for this third
I'm
episode.
going to have to
Avatar.
rewatch the first one because someone was a chatterbox. I literally had to pause at one point because I was like, I know what they're saying is important and I can't hear anything.
I can hear and talk at the same time.
I can only do that if I can read the subtitles.
No, I'm professional. Well, I'm used to talking shit. Professional shit talker on Call
I don't
of Duty.
know
so much so I get banned. Too good at it. I came in. I said I was the best.
So, really sweet moment yesterday. Kind of started off mildly scary while I was there at my parents' house.
Oh.
My parents want me to read their vow renewal.
Uh-oh. You're going to be balling.
Dad said that he'll give it to me at least 2 weeks in advance. And then
Fucking better. Try and desensitize.
I started shit talking him so bad after everything. Like I was saying that because Beth had been craving fajitas. That's why they invited people over.
That's fine. No Sunday fun day, but fajita.
No,
Saturday.
they're still doing Sunday fun day today.
I'll go.
We have to get the dogs shots then. I have to clean out my car for that too.
There's so much to do today.
I know. It's disgusting.
Can we do shots another Sunday?
Yeah, it's every Sunday, but they have to get boosters too.
Can we do it next Sunday?
Do you want to do it next Sunday?
Do we have anything going on next Sunday?
I don't know. I don't have my phone on me.
We'll circle back to that. I prefer to do it next week, just so.
I've been putting this off for like a month.
I know, but we have a lot to do. We don't have anything to do, I guess.
I have cleaning that I have to do.
So let's
That's the most. But I have cleaning to do every Sunday. That doesn't ever change.
But then we can go Sunday fun day this week.
Do you want to?
Kinda.
Do you
I'm
really?
feeling better, yeah.
Okay. Because I've been wanting to go to a Sunday
Yeah.
fun day, but you've not wanted to, so I haven't bothered.
Mentally just can't do it. But today
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Okay,
So we'll
we
see.
can do that.
Yeah.
They said
Hi,
it'd
Kat.
probably be at Big E's, which is not a big deal.
What are you doing?
But yeah, I was shit talking my dad because so Beth had been craving fajitas.
Right.
And Dad wanted it to be like a date night, but Beth decided that she wanted to invite people over, and Dad was trying to complain about it. And I was like, yeah, because you have no friends. And I quoted John Mulaney, and I was like, yeah, dads don't have friends. Dads have wives, and wives have friends, and their friends have husbands.
I think Milo's got attacked. You're right, Milo.
Milo.
I hear him. Yeah, she attacked him.
Oh my God.
She was standing right there and sprinted in and started wailing on him.
Are you okay,
Poor
boy?
boy, look at him. He's crying. You're all right, buddy. You're okay, pal. Oh, little boy.
No,
oh,
buddy.
Molly, Jesus.
I got you.
Yeah, poor little guy.
So yeah,
Terrace. Winnie, get out. Go. Get out of here. You're like, I don't have anything up here to throw at you.
Well, now Molly's stuck in here too.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Her pouch swings so aggressively.
Yeah. So, fuck, I want to talk about something else.
Well, we got time.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was though.
Oh no.
Damn it. You said keep talking. Damn it.
But yeah, my dad got like all offended that I quoted John Mulaney at him. And I was like, you do know that that's a joke, right? Like, I don't actually mean that, because the friends that they had were Carrie and Tracy, where my dad exclusively knew Carrie.
Which makes sense because
it was the exact reverse of the friends that they had there.
I like Carrie and Tracy.
Yeah, I do too.
Miss Joe.
Poor Carrie still can't feel. Did I tell you Carrie cut her hand open? Really bad. Yeah, she was cutting an avocado and she sliced her hand.
You can't cut avocados.
I know.
People gotta stop being allowed to cut avocados. This is getting ridiculous.
She blamed everything else going on around her.
Avocados are it's the avocado's fault, honestly. Nobody knows how to cut an avocado, apparently. Every time I see a video, they're holding it in their hand. They go,
I know.
Are you psycho? You can cut your fucking hand off.
I couldn't find the video, but the way that you're like that actual chefs are taught to open it is not in half, but it's in quarters.
Yeah, it's
because then you peel it across and then it's
slice, like.
So then once you have it cut into quarters, you're able to just take the pit with your fingers and pull it out. You don't have to smack it.
And you don't have to smack it. You can push it in. Stop swinging knives.
I know.
Every time I watch people cook, especially people that can't cook, when I'm watching them cut their onions and shit, they're like, you're gonna slice your hand off, dude. You fucking idiot. Drives me nuts. I'm not like a culinary expert, but I know how to not to cut my fucking hand when I
My dad was so specific with teaching me knife skills. But my dad also is a chef, so
I only know
it makes sense.
Knife stuff because my dad always said, "Don't cut towards you."
Yeah, my dad was so specific.
It'd be so easy.
I can't curve my fingers right, so I still get really scared.
I can.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't quite do it the same.
Yeah.
But,
You're really pushing down with your nails. You want to be pushing down like the tops of your nails onto your.
I know, but
bunch.
Then
that's how I get it right.
I don't know.
But I just never. Bring my knife up above my knuckles.
I'm just really careful, personally. But
yeah, I try to be. Oh baby, she gave up. She just laid down. I'm stuck in here forever now.
Yep.
Yeah, Winnie, get out of here, you.
Animals are fighting.
Fucking decade. I almost hit her off the bounce.
Now she's gonna just play with it.
Good. Molly's gonna take
Hey.
care of her. You get her, Molly. Good girl. Oh, hey, son.
Yeah, now she's just playing with it.
Hey, son. Hey, boy. So many.
You just
Hi,
gave
Molly.
her new favorite toy.
Good. You should fuck off and stop moving the camera and fighting Milo. The poor little guy didn't do nothing.
He existed.
Can't
Yep,
escape
welcome
it.
to our house.
Oh, you put the feeder back up?
No. I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I'm in our fucking yard. Or maybe it was always up. I just don't remember it. Oh, I never have these blinds open anymore. I bet that's what it is. I did put it back up. It didn't remember it. That'd make a lot more sense. No animals ever come to it. Squirrels came to it. Fucking ripped the little tray out.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
So I gotta fill it back up.
I know.
I think I can lift it up and like do everything from in here though. I don't think I have to go out there for any of it.
Okay.
I think. Not confident.
Oh, shit. You know what I just remembered?
Huh.
Do we need an AC unit?
No, our AC still works.
Does it?
A little
Because
bit.
wasn't
was
it
kinda
breaking?
on the fritz. Kinda, but it was working. It stopped doing the weird thing and started working again, so I don't know.
I'm nervous because if we wait until summer, they're going to be expensive.
Good girl, Mile. Good
Right.
girl. Good boy, Mile. All right. Well,
this is just turning into our animals fighting at this
Yeah.
point. So
I think we
I
did
think
it.
this has stopped being entertaining. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
I think we did a good enough job. Yeah. You know, we're an hour and 6 in.
I
we're
say
good.
that's good enough.
It's good enough.
Yeah, I
Almost
am
doubled it.
impressed at how much we talked about.
Yeah. Especially with how short our list of things to talk about was.
Yeah,
We managed
I only
to-
had
we
Avatar
managed to nail
on
it.
my list.
We managed to nail it. Kept on pushing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure as soon as I hit stop, I'll remember the other thing. I now remember it, actually. The boys' trip.
Oh.
Ross put in 2 votes. Florida.
Mm-hmm.
1 Miami, 1 in Dayton.
Okay.
So far, those are the only 2 places we got. And so far,
What
Gabe
did
said
you...
he would go. I think he would go.
Yeah, Gabe doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Owen
Ross
is the
would
one
go?
that would
Yeah.
surprise me.
Owen didn't respond when we asked. So
Owen doesn't want
we'll
to
see.
leave his house.
We'll see. We'll see if he goes.
Owen,
But because it's a
stop
boys
being
trip,
a hobbit.
Because it's a boys trip, I figured it'd be boys only because of it being a trip.
Yeah,
So I don't know if
sad.
he would go for that reason. Like, if he would like not go because his girlfriend. And that's also why I think Jeremy won't go. Jeremy, don't do it. Don't end it. Because Paige wouldn't go.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, we could do
Yeah, we could do
a group trip.
But I wanted to do boys trip
Yeah.
specifically.
But in the sense of like, if it gets the boys there, us girls could
Yeah.
figure something out to
Yeah.
do.
I
If
just-
we all got into a group together and got to know each other
Yeah.
and got to kind of turn this into also a girls trip in a sense of, hey, our boys want to have a boys trip, but
Yeah,
because
you
they
just
want
stay-
to bring us along,
Stay in a different
we-
room.
yeah.
I'm just worried about our points. Because that's how I was going to do the trip.
Oh.
I was using points.
Mm.
But so I'm planning on spring break 26.
We still have to go on a cruise with my parents too.
In what year?
Whenever we can,
Oh,
but
yeah,
we
well,
can hardly afford 1 trip a year, let alone 2. So
sure, but the only thing we'd be really paying for outside of it is food and gas. We all pitch in for gas.
I guess
Yeah, so
we'd have to see.
but that's why 26 next year, Myrtle Beach.
Mm-hmm.
This year, out of the country. We definitely have to go on at least 1 trip a year.
Yeah. And I think honestly, spring break time is a good time.
Yeah, we can go with most people during those times. So, well, that's what I want to talk about. I'll show you the book. We can talk about where. I'll show you the 2 hotels he picked out.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Remember, we have a Patreon. I forget to put this at the end of all the episodes.
Oh, jeez.
We have a Patreon. All the links are on our link tree, which is linktr.ee/Mitten Marijuana. You get all the links, the Facebook, YouTube, most of the podcast links, like Spotify, iTunes, Apple. I think those are on there.
Is TikTok on there?
TikTok is on there. The Instagram's on there. So
all the
links are there. And Patreon gets these episodes Sunday, where they normally come out on Wednesday. And they also get the bonus content. I'm going to be putting up the bonus content from last week's smoke sesh on there either today or tomorrow.
Okay.
So.
Woo!
So, yeah. There you go. So, if you want to become a patron, it's $4.20 a month. For obvious reasons.
Uh-huh.
$4.20, not $420. We're not that conceited.
God, yeah, no.
Yeah. But.
We're not a second car payment.
No. So, there you go. Thanks for watching with us, guys.